Hey, good morning everyone. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm just arriving to the church. I'm going to do the live stream for the wedding, and today I'm just going to test new equipments I got for this project. Just to do the live stream, I got the Blackmagic A10 Mini Pro, and that you can connect 4 cameras, you can connect the computer, you can connect different devices, and to do the live stream in YouTube. You can do it on Facebook or any other platform you want. So the idea today is just test it and see how it goes, and if I need any other equipment. Okay, as you see right now, at that moment everything was fine, everything was on time. I just setting up the camera, the tripod, the equipments, the cables, just moving around, locate myself where I'm going to shoot the live stream for the mass. At that moment, it was just a testing, a rehearsal, just to see if I have all the equipments and if everything goes right, the audio and everything. But what moment in that moment, what happened, sorry, what moment in that moment, what happened in that moment was that when I was about to connect the Blackmagic, I'm using the Blackmagic A10 Mini Pro. I got this 3 weeks ago, and it's a huge, really powerful tool. You can do too many things. At the moment it has 4 inputs for 4 cameras of 4 devices, the HDMI, 1 output for the HDMI just for to connect the monitor and to see what is happening. You can connect straight to the internet and then just make the live stream straight there. You can make transitions, you can make cuts, you can connect a SSD drive and then you can record straight away. You have 2 inputs for audio. If you want, let me know in the comments if you want to see a full review of this A10 Mini Pro, and maybe I can do it in live stream and just test the review in live stream, testing the switcher, and it will be really interesting. I haven't done any live stream in my YouTube channel. So let's carry on. So I have to connect the USB and then connect it to the computer, and then the computer will recognize the switcher as a webcam. So in the moment I was using this cable, okay, you can see USB-C, and then the other end of the cable is USB. So, but the laptop, the MacBook Pro, maybe not everyone knows, but the MacBook Pro use USB-C in both sides. They don't have USB, the normal USB port. So I connect this on the tablet, on the switcher, and then when I went to connect to the computer, I didn't have the converter. So the converter looks like this. You can see the converter looks like that. USB-C, and then the other side is USB. I have that one at home. I have this other one. They have USB. Just wait. Okay. I have this USB here and the USB-C on the other side. And also I have this other connection. They have 2 USB, and you can connect this one to the computer. So I have 3 converters from USB to USB-C. But in that moment at the church, I really forget this piece of equipment. So I have all the cables, I have everything else, but I didn't have this small piece that can ruin everything, because I won't be able to connect the switcher to the computer. So I just, at that moment it was like 9:20, I think 9:20, and the mass start at 9:30. The idea was to rehearsal with the mass and make a real live stream, and then he can just see the production and maybe just future work on that way, you know. But I was freaking out. I couldn't set up the live stream for that piece of equipment. I just get the power cable of the laptop. The only downside of this is you're trusting on the battery computers, and this is not really good, because when the batteries goes low, the operating system starts shutting down, and the live streams require a lot of system, they require a lot of memory RAMs, processors and everything. So when the battery is low, the computers slow down everything, and the data transfers from the camera to the live stream or to the YouTube or the third party you're using to do the live stream is not good enough, and then you will have some problems, some bufferings with the live stream, and you want to avoid those problems. So, well, I was trying to connect this power cable to the computer just to make the live stream. But what happened when I connected to the computer, I saw it was like charging the computer, but it was really stressed out at that moment that I didn't think or I didn't check properly if the cables really works. I just saw the battery and it was charging. In my mind crossed like, okay, it's charging the laptop, but it's not connecting the actual Blackmagic. It's not working. So I just freaking out. I was 9:25. The priest was making me stressed. He was asking me, give me the link. I want to share the link for the live stream with the people. I need to share that. Just go live. Give me the link. This and that. Yes, I just wait a second. I'm trying to connect the computer. This and that. And then I just say to him, you know what? Bring your laptop. Do it the old way you do. Yeah, do it as you normally do, and then I will make the rehearsal, the test after the mass. I will make my own test, just with peace of mind, more relaxed. The mass starts like 10-20 minutes later, and I was really stressed because it was crazy. I was preparing everything, but there are too much equipment. You have one HDMI cable for each camera you're going to use, and then you have the cables for the power supplies, you have the batteries, you have the cameras, you have the microphones, you have the tripods, the head of the tripods, everything, the memories, cables around, and you forget if you don't have a list of any of the equipment you really need, or you are not really organized. Those things happen. The problems is going to appear if you are not really organized. So that happened that day. So I learned that day that I won't forget again any of these ones. So basically, I just, as soon as I arrive at home, I just put one of these converters in the back. And if I forget, I have some backups over there. But now I just make a list of everything. So that prepared me for the wedding days. That was, if you're watching this video right now, the wedding is already passed. But from the rehearsal day, the wedding was 1 week later. On the wedding, I'm going to be inside and outside of the church because I have to film when the groom and when the bride came, and then just get into the church. And then once the mass finish or the celebration finish, I have to get out of the church again. We're going to make some group photos. I'm going to do a couple photos and other things. So you can see I was trying the transmitters and the receivers for the camera I'm going to be moving around, just to see how the signal range, if it's okay or not. And in the next one, you can see I connect the Blackmagic to the laptop with the power cable of the laptop, and it was working properly. It works really well. That happened in that day for the rehearsal. I learned from that moment I have to make a list of everything what I need. This was the first time I was using this equipment. That's why I went to the church 1 week before, just to test out all the equipments and everything. Also, I was using another camera I borrowed from the other church where I was working before. It's a Lumix, I have it here. It's a Lumix GH5. And I haven't used this camera too much. I always use the Canon 60 Mark II, my camera. And before I was using the TI3, I think is the model. The previous camera I had for the Canon, you might see that in the other tutorials. But this camera, the Lumix or other brands apart from Canon, I haven't used any of those cameras. And this one, I have to learn how to use it. The menu is really different. I think it's a little bit complicated or too complex if you don't have too much knowledge about videography or photography, or knowledge of using a camera. You have to read the manual for this camera because it's plenty of options and you have different things and it's crazy. But I have to learn on the moment, so I could work it out and learn about this camera. The only thing, when I was using the camera, has, you can see right now, you can notice it has, just focus, you can notice it have two buttons over here, and then it has a joystick, another button, they have this deal, they have the other deal here, you have another button here, two buttons more around here, because I was doing the live stream and as well I was filming on the camera to have high resolution. But I just press the button. You can start recording from this button. You can press this button on the front as well to start recording. But if you press any button, start recording. I don't know why. So it's the only downside of seeing this camera, but the rest is really powerful. It's 4K. It films in C-Lux. They have other options as well. It's quite nice, but the only thing I don't like is that too many buttons over there. And the wedding days, I went with all the equipment I need. I have everything. The good practice is to set up everything in 1.5 hours. I think it's plenty of time. Set up all the equipment. I like to make a live stream test before the actual live stream. If it's not any problem with the audio, because the most of the time we have video, but we don't have audio. Some problems with the connection, or maybe you have the audio, but there are some noise, and you have to find out where is coming that noise from the microphones, for the connections, the cables, what is missing, if it's setting up the right audio inputs. I like to do that, and sometimes the camera is not working well. You never know. So I really like to do a test before the actual live stream. I was there. I arrived at 10 because I wanted to get early to the church, and I was waiting 1 hour, man. The priest made me wait 1 hour outside. I was at 11 setting up everything. I was starting setting up some equipment outside, the tripod, the cameras, the gimbal. Once they open the church, I get in and I start setting up everything, do the connections. Everything was really good, but I don't know why sometimes YouTube or this internet, I don't know what happened. When I went to start the live stream just to make the test, it was like loading, buffering, and the connection, it wasn't work, and it was like around 11:20, something like that, and I was just starting freaking out, stressing, because it couldn't connect to YouTube. And then I gave internet, I was using the Wi-Fi in the church, and then I just give internet from my phone to the computer to see if it was any internet issues. It didn't connect either. I just restart the computer, close the window, close Google Chrome. I try again and nothing happened. I create a new live stream for a test, and it wasn't working, man. I was like, oh, come on, man. It was really stressing. I wanted to film some behind the scenes where I was doing the setup. I wanted to take a photo of all the equipment I had in that moment. I wanted to film the behind the scenes of the actual ceremony when I was doing everything. But in that moment I stressed out so much and freaking out that I forget. I didn't have any time to set up the cameras for the behind the scene. My mind, I wasn't thinking anything. I just wanted to make a test to see if everything was right, if the audio was well, if the cameras were working. And yeah, I just closed again the Google Chrome. I opened it again, and then finally I could get the live stream for the test. So, and then I just turned it on. Everything was good. The connection was good. Looks like the camera was nice. I was using the recorder, the Tascam. I don't know if you see over there. I was connecting the Tascam here, and then the output for the Blackmagic. But it was getting some noise, like shh. I don't know why, what happened. It was like, and the audio was sound like echo, but too much. Even if it was directly to connect to the audio system from the church. I just finally just disconnect from the recorder and connected to the Blackmagic straight away, because I was using the Comica wireless microphones. So I connect the receivers on the audio system from the church, and then the transmitters, and then the receiver I connected straight away here on the one of the inputs, audio inputs for the Blackmagic. So the noise get off. I didn't hear any noise anymore. The cameras, I just could switch the cameras. I had connected the laptop as well because I was playing one video on the laptop. So I connect the laptop, I connect this camera, I connect the other camera. So and then I was trying the switches. They were working perfectly. The cameras were okay, but the audio, it wasn't working. I didn't hear any audio. I don't know why. I checked the audio levels on the receiver and the transmitter. It was signal, but it wasn't working. And that moment was like, the groom arrived, man. I was doing the test and the groom arrived. The idea was to film when he arrived, but I was doing the test. I was finishing the setup for the live stream. So he arrived, and then a few minutes later, I think it was like around 10 to 12. He came to me and said, you know, we set up the Bible over there. I would like to have some club subs over there and filming this. I was like that. I said, okay, yeah, all right, don't worry. Yes, I do it. But it was stressing. I was stressing at all, man. So then I use those Rode microphones. I connect the receivers over there on this audio system from the church, and I connect the transmitter here on the Blackmagic. And then I started getting some audio. So at that moment, the photographer Luis came and asked me, the bride is asking why we haven't started. I say to him, give me 5-10 minutes more because I'm doing the test. I have some issues with the audio. I'm trying to sort it out and see what is happening. So tell her that give me 5-10 minutes more and I will start the live stream. So I was like, you know, everyone getting on me, man. It's like, was crazy. So I finished the test, everything was good, but then I scheduled the live stream 2 weeks before to YouTube. So everyone's have already the schedule, they can set up a reminder, they can have everything. So I went to the live stream, because I was using, you know, when maybe you don't know, but when you go to YouTube, and you go to create for the live stream, you have different options. You can do the webcam, you can use directly from the webcam, and it will start the live stream straight away. So with the Blackmagic, it connects as a webcam. The computer recognizes the Blackmagic, the switcher, as a webcam. So when you're going to start the live stream, you just press webcam and straight away the live stream. But if you go, you can then schedule the live stream for the future, or if you're using a third-party software like OBS or Elgato or any other software for live stream, then you connect to that software and that software connect to YouTube. And when I went to the live stream I scheduled, I have to check because it was as well the first time I'm doing in that way. Because normally in the church I did before, we were using Elgato, and then we were transmitting from Elgato to the live stream on YouTube. So this time was really the first time I was using directly for the webcam. In that moment, when I get to the scheduled video, I couldn't find a way to make it work with the webcam. So the people were already connected, and they were already writing down on the chat. Everyone was really happy, expecting and waiting. I was really stressed. I just tried to look around. I didn't have any time to read and really process the information and see how it works. So I just write down on the chat. I say, please go to the channel. I will create another live stream. This one is not going to work. Go for the other one. I just write down that, send it, and close the live stream. Go to create live stream, webcam, bang, everything was working. Start live stream, and go ahead. And the live stream started working. I was released a little bit, just breathing. I have the camera already set up on the gimbal. I just press channel 3 where the computer was connected, and play the video we are going to play. They wanted to play one photos, the montage video, it was like some photos of the family. I didn't wanted to play before the live stream start. So I just start playing the video. I went out for the camera. My sister was helping me. Thanks God she was helping me, because this I couldn't do it by myself. This work for the live stream requires at least, if you're going to use 2 cameras, requires at least 3 people. 1 for each camera and 1 for the switcher, just to monitor everything is working, check the audio levels is working, make the switch between cameras, just to check the monitor, the live stream, if it's working or not. So at that moment we were only my sister and I. She was in the main camera and she was monitoring if everything was working as well. And I went with the other camera just moving around. So I got the gimbal, I went out, I had my headphones and connect the live stream on my cell phone as well to monitor if everything was working well. So I left the cell phone inside the church, I went out, I have my Bluetooth headphones, I was hearing the music from the video, right? I went out, it was this part, it was funny. I went out to film the entrance of the bride, I was recording, and as soon as I saw the bride is going to get out of the car, I just tell my dad was there as well, and he was doing the behind the scenes outside of the church. So he came to me, you can see right now the video. I was filming the bride getting out of the car, doing some close-ups, recording everything. But I told to my dad, before that, I told to him, go and tell to my sister, because we didn't have any radio. It was really nice if we had a radio and then we can speak and just say switch camera 2, camera 1, but that is the word of the director, right? But at the moment I was the director, I was the cameraman, and my sister was only assisting me, just checking if everything was right and doing some movement with the camera inside the church. So I went out, I was hearing the music from the video, I told to my dad, tell to her, shut off the video and switch to this camera. The camera, that was the camera 1, and the tripod inside the church was camera 2. I told to my dad, tell her that switch for this camera. He signaled to her and say change the camera and everything. But I was filming the bride get out and still hearing the music from the video. I was freaking out because I didn't realize, I was too stressed at the beginning, really. Truly, I don't know how to explain, but I was so stressed that hearing the music, I didn't realize the live stream on my phone, the video on YouTube, was having some delays from the actual live stream. Because sometimes, normally, when you are doing the live stream, normally there are like 5-10 seconds delay between the live or between what is happening to the live stream. So normally it's like 5-10 seconds delay. But sometimes the buffering on the cell phone on your video gets more delay. So the signals drops a little bit, and then you have to wait the YouTube or the internet get bad, and then you can carry on watch the video. And you know, when you're watching the live stream, you can get back or you can move forward. So in the moment, it was some delays on my phone, but not in the live stream. So I was hearing the music, it was like 30 seconds delay. I saw the video was playing, still playing. I told my dad again, go there and tell her that change the video, the camera, and shut up the video. And he was like, yeah, but he did it, and she did it, and say, no, but go there and tell her again. So I didn't realize that I was really stressed. I screamed to my dad, sorry about that. So, and then we just carry on. I was carry on filming because what can I do? I just go there, filming, recording, everything. Yeah, that's it. So I went in, and everything else it works well. Just that beginning of the live stream of the wedding was really stressful, but after that point, everything else works properly. We didn't have any issue. We can communicate properly between my sister and I. We can communicate, say, switch to this camera, switch to the other one, do that movement, do that when moving around of the church and getting the shots I wanted. I haven't checked the live stream, I have to do it. And to make the editings for the high resolution and just make some cuts, I have to edit that video. But yes, everything else was really nice. Then the ceremony finished, we went out and we filmed the photography, the group photos. The family was really happy, they were happy, everyone was happy with the live stream, because in the live stream was like 100 people connected. You can't believe it, because this was a small ceremony because of the COVID, only 15 people could get into the church, and the rest of the family from Nigeria, from South Africa, from Ireland, and I don't know where else, but different countries from the family were connected. Everyone was sending photos, watching the live stream on their house, and they were celebrating. They were really happy, and the couple were really happy as well. So they just give me thanks for the live stream, for the work and the job and everything. That is the most satisfying thing, just to know the clients are happy with your job and what you are doing. So if they're happy of what you are doing, you are happy, because you can feel satisfied that you could reach the goal you set up. Because you spoke with them for meetings, we speak like having some meetings, just making the list of what they want, what is the end goal, and then if you can accomplish those moments and those goals, and then you feel happy. Everyone was happy at the end, and I was really tired. After that, your adrenaline just get down. You just can relax right now. That's it. It was a really good experience. I have been avoiding weddings since I started doing photography and filming, but this was my first wedding. They wanted to do a live stream. They liked my work before for the live stream of the other church I've been working from 1 year now. They really like my job and they were happy with that. So that's it. I'm really happy how it ends. So you know the history now. You have to learn from mistakes. You have to learn during the process. This is going to make you stronger tomorrow. So what weaks you today, tomorrow is going to make you stronger. And that is the most important thing. Always is experience, always is to learn something new, just to learn from mistakes. So sometimes we want to make things perfect, we want to make things like goes the right way, and perfectionism sometimes makes out of our way. It's like excuses. We make excuses to avoid something. We want to do something and excuses come. And sometimes perfectionism is one of those excuses. We want something so perfect that at the end we don't work out and we don't make that happen. So learn from the process, learn from your mistakes, let you make mistakes, let you to fail, and if you fail, you just get up and carry on doing it, and next time you will make it perfect and you will make it better. That is the word. You will make it better and your progress is going to get better and better and better. It's going to improve a lot. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you learned something new for this. You get out a little bit of the history about my experience in this wedding and this project. Let me know in the comments if you have been shooting some weddings, what have been your problems or your issues, your experience, how you deal with that. So let me know in the comments as well if you have any question. Don't forget to hit the like button, it's going to help me a lot. Subscribe if you're not, if you like this video, and thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video. Peace.